Alright, what's going on, guys? Chile Games back again, and had this game a couple days ago. Very, very good game, I would say on my part. But there was a couple points in the game, especially at the beginning, that were questionable, and the end, unfortunately, is I'm gonna spoil it. The end really, kind of sucked. I was left after this game feeling like, man. Did we did that really just happen? So, I'm gonna get into it. So the Charles Martel is very good. Um, I think I was AFK here for like 2 seconds. I think I was. Yeah. So anything with Charles Martel is it is very lightly armored, and you do not want to be, you know, staying in this spot like I am doing now. Well, okay, there we go. I forgot I forgot what I was doing there. Anyway, so I go ahead and see my battleships turning away. I would have turned away anyways, and I would have already cantered my ship out towards the other cap spot. So if I had to, I could disengage. You never want to be caught in this little spawn bow in. And I would have shot at York, but I did not want to, I guess, spook him with the HE. So I tried to maybe sneak off a little AP salvo here, and unfortunately someone else took that shot. But I'm holding my fire, one, because I don't know if there's going to be a battleship in between that little gap at A. And with Martel, even if you're angled, it doesn't matter. If you get hit, you can easily take max damage Citadel wherever on the ship. So we realize here that I am spotted, which is weird because I would have thought that he would have been in an A, and I was very confused here because normally destroyers don't like to push in between these two caps early game. I like to a little bit, but not at the length that this guy is going for, because he's definitely not an A. I don't know why, looking back at it, I don't know why I thought he was back there because he's not capping the base. So we go undetected. And Sashio is right there. And I gotta say, as much this might have won them the game, because if we would have had an extra ship at the end, I'm not sure. But oh, this was funny. I mean, there's nothing more we can do, honestly. We just the enemy, our friendly teammates here just have to dodge, and unfortunately, he does not. We end up getting that kill. Honestly, I wasn't even mad at that. I was like, you know what? Like, that is hilarious because that spawn is so bad for just people just sitting there. So, I guess kudos to that guy. That was pretty funny. And you see there we get pretty lucky dodging that one shell or that one salvo from, I'm not sure who that was, but I mean, something like that could have easily deleted us. So at this point, I'm like, okay, well, the destroyer's gone, so I can outspot anybody over here. So I'm like, all right, let's just wheel back around to A. And I guess a point that I want to make about this is I see on Reddit and Discord a lot is abandoning your flank. And I hate to say it, unless you're a destroyer and you know how to kite away, or a cruiser that can kite away somewhat, if 2/3 of your spawn is leaving, you're not really doing your team that great of a service by staying. If I would have stayed at A, they definitely would have pushed me, and I would have put myself in a position to where I could not have, done well. It pretty much just would have singled me out and made me a pretty easy target. So I hate to say it, but if your team is leaving, sometimes it's in your best interest to follow them. Not every time, obviously every situation is different, but if you're going to tell yourself that you're a Charles Martel, a light cruiser, you're going to, dodge 3 or 4 battleships, just in this spawn, then you're lying to yourself. Just play smart, play for the end game. Obviously, like, it's not desirable, but you also don't want to get deleted going up against a 1v3 or 1v4 for no reason. So I feel like I'm in a pretty comfortable spot right here. I waited for Turpits to fire. Actually, usually before I take a first shot, I want to see if they are aimed at somebody else. If I see that I'm undetected, but their guns are still pointing my way, I always try to more or less, wait a little bit, because if their guns are already pointed that way, that means that they can turn and shoot you quicker. And I shot. So I shot these torpedoes at this King George here, and you see us take a lot of damage there from the Tirpitz. And I mean, that's just Martel. Sometimes you can dodge them, sometimes you can't, and you're going to get pinned anywhere. So the Tirpitz burned his damage con, and we hit all 3 torpedoes at crazy range. I mean, the odds of that happening are very, very low. So I feel very comfortable. This HE is very strong. The rate of fire is very strong. And I'm not being the easiest target right now. We have our 2 battleships pushing in now. And unfortunately, this Tirpitz is still... I mean, that Tirpitz is probably pissed. Luckily, we bounced those and take a little bit of damage there. But we have a permanent float on him. This is looking very, very good. And I start moving because I want to be able to keep farming this King George. So as you can see, the King George really suffers. HE is absolutely nuts on it. Anytime I'm in a HE spamming cruiser and I see something like King George, Vanguard, Monarch, Jean Bart, anything like that, you're just kind of salivating, because you're going to be hitting 3, 4, 5k, at least a salvo just on the HE Alpha damage. So they are very weak in that regard, and it's so much fun to farm those kind of battleships. The ones that really suck to farm with anything are the Vladivostok and any of the Russians. And Bismarck can be kind of iffy sometimes as well. Everything else is pretty decent. So okay, now we have cleared this side, and we still have pretty decent amount of health. I feel like we're in a really good place to, win this game. We're down a ship, however we have B, and we have a destroyer. So we have a lot of tools going with us. And here I was really debating going left here and putting them in a crossfire. However, I know the islands at A are very, very good. So I was like, you know what? I was trying to determine. I was like, I think this team is going to push very hard. So I'm just going to settle myself in at A, and I'm going to blind fire, because I want to have, if the worst comes to worst here, I want to have a good bit of health left to 1v1, or, do whatever I have to do at the very end of the game. So anytime you can find cover in not blind fire, it's the wrong term. Anytime that you can find cover and shoot undetected and be effective is a godsend for cruisers. And I was really hoping that these torps would hit this Kutuzov. That would have been very, very nice, because that Kutuzov is going to be a massive problem for us. And at this point in time, if I were to 1v1 that Kutuzov, I doubt I could beat him. If as long as he doesn't show broadside enough for me to Citadel him, Kutuzov is going to beat me in a DPM battle every single time almost. Especially now that it has heals. Oh god, don't even get me started. Anyways, yeah, I mean, we're doing pretty well. I was really excited for this game, because I was like, once I hit those 3 torps on that Tirpitz and I was burning the King George, I was like, oh man, it's going to be a good game. Like, I'm here for it. So obviously the Kutuzov is kiting out towards the right over there, and this York, oh, I remember this. This York is very, very unlucky here. This is, I was very happy with what happened with this York here, so we get some good HE damage on him. And honestly, I'm just trying to get people off the board, because I know the only people that are going to be shot at once I get undetected is these 2 battleships, because the destroyer is not going to be seen and I'm going to be undetected. So it's going to be up to 2 battleships to pretty much tank this entire team. So I'm trying to get as many guns and as many like HE spamming things off the map here. I can't unfortunately go for the Kutuzov because he's just way too far out. If I were to go out there and chase him, it would ultimately just take too much time. And fortunately, that York had to burn damage con earlier, and we pick up another fire on him, and just before he goes out, we catch him with Zephyr. So that's nice. So Kutuzov is almost dead here. He's almost dead to the point where I'm thinking about shooting HE at this distance. So this is where our friendly destroyer is really going to start handicapping us here. Is if you didn't notice, the destroyer has been asking for support almost this entire time, in which I understand, but then again I don't, because one, the destroyer's not going to be spotted. So like I don't understand, like you can do a lot of things independently as a destroyer player and in a destroyer compared to the other classes. So so the biggest thing that this destroyer needs to be doing right now is either he needs to be in a spot to be defending B, or where I would have preferred him to be would be inside that Kutuzov smoke firing penalty, because Kutuzov is almost dead. I mean, he's a solid pin or two, and he's 100% dead. So if the Kutuzov gets spotted in smoke and we have a battleship over there, if he gets spotted, then the Kutuzov gets taken out, and our battleship to the right, I forget who it is, doesn't take a lot of damage. And honestly, we're still defending B, so we're in a very solid spot here. We have the enemy, I believe it's an Amagi, who can't shoot us, the Tirpitz. And the reason why I'm going for Tirpitz here is because I know I'll be able to shoot Bismarck for a while. I'm trying to get a fire burning on that Tirpitz while I don't see him. And I thought my team was going to start, do a little bit better job of focusing people. But, however, you see that Kutuzov is still alive, because the destroyer is still not doing, much of anything. He's kind of just hovering mid-map, and I don't even think he's shooting torpedoes. So, I mean, I'm not too sure what's going on. And, so yeah. We have the Tirpitz, who's almost dead. We have the Bismarck, who has his damage control off cooldown. Or no, he just used it, actually. So I'm trying to stay undetected here, but unfortunately this has to be like the RNG gods just saying no, because he does not have damage con ready. If we get a fire on this guy, he's 100% dead. Finally, the Kutuzov goes down. However, it takes an extra ship, and we lose one in the process. So again, our destroyer is just, kind of just muling around in the center there, and in really no place to more or less, torp anybody, because everyone that he's going to be torpedoing is going to be super far away. So the destroyer is actually rendering himself pretty useless right now. He's spotting, which is great. But he could have been doing a lot more offensively as well. Spotting is passive. Where you can put yourself position-wise is, is how, you can really perform as a destroyer. And here's another thing. So Tirpitz was last seen spotted coming towards B, and this is ultimately what loses us the game. We're sitting here at 173,000. I'm feeling great. I've been like, man, this is awesome. The destroyer gets himself spotted, and which could have been, that's a pretty, like, you have to kind of expect that, honestly. I mean, I don't know. You can't come around blind corners like that, especially when, in a game like this, because what does that force him to do? Well, one, I don't have a spotting plane. I have the heals. And the Akatsuki is now put up in his smoke screen, and I was unlucky enough to get any fires. So I didn't get a fire on that. If I get one fire on the Bismarck and I get another fire on this Tirpitz, pretty sure that both of these guys are dead. So we just get a little bit unlucky there. And it was at this moment in time I was like, man, if this Tirpitz is smart, he's not going to accelerate past that rock. And, every second that ticks by, I'm thinking like, man, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And I was thinking about pinging, and I was just shooting my torps, just hoping somebody would come around a corner. And I was looking for my mic as we speak, or as this game was going on, because I was like, dude, like at this point in time, like you can definitely take a full salvo from a battleship and probably live. You have got to have these targets spotted. And this is pretty much, yeah, this is painful. Just do nothing but sit here and, I have no eyes. I have to play it kind of cautiously because, I am a light support cruiser. I have very light armor. So, I was pretty much rendered useless here in the end here, so that was very upsetting. The shells aren't going to reach that target in time. And, this could have been a really, really good game. Like, a really good game. But unfortunately, we are just kind of left with the worst taste in our mouth as our Akatsuki teammate kind of launches torpedoes there. So it really shows when, I don't know, not bad destroyer, but like if it really hurts the team a lot when there's a destroyer who's, not spotting. But anyways, it's a game. But hope you guys enjoyed. That's going to be it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.